In order to form an S corporation, you essentially follow the same rules that you would for a C corporation, which means that you need to go to the state's website and find the document that forms the company. These are called articles of incorporation or certificate of incorporation, depending on the jurisdiction in which you're located. Each state has different filing requirements and different fees for the corporation, so be sure you understand those fees that apply to the corporation. Once you file the articles or the certificate of incorporation, the corporation is formed. However, in order to elect S corporation status, you'll have to file a particular S election form, which is Form 2553, with the Internal Revenue Service. We will discuss the Form 2553 in a later segment. If you're filing the corporation in a state different than where the company's principal business will be located, for example, you're filing the corporation in Delaware, but the business is located in Michigan, you'll need to make sure that you file a certificate of authority to do business in Michigan or in the state in which you're located, and there will be filing fees involved with that. Each state has a different definition of what doing business means, so you'll need to make sure for each state in which the company has employees or is conducting business activity, you understand what that definition is and you comply with that state's filing requirements. In addition to filing the articles or certificate of incorporation and the Form 2553, you'll want to make sure that you are aware of any permits or licenses that may be necessary for the company to file. There may be permits or licenses that are required at the state level, local level, and you'll just need to do some research and make sure you understand what those are. So when you are forming the S corporation, you have to complete articles or certificate of incorporation, and there are particular issues that need to be addressed in that document. First, you need to choose a name for the company. And in order to choose a name, you want to make sure the name is not already taken in the state in which you're filing the company. So you'll need to search that state's website to determine if that name is available. You'll also want to do a search in Markify on markify.com to determine if that name is already trademarked. In addition, you'll want to do a search in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to determine if there are any trademarks of that name, and also a Google search. And this is particularly important if you're going to be using the company name associated with the company's products, services, or technology. Second, you'll need to state what the purpose of the company is. Most states have a general purpose statement saying that the company may be used for any lawful business purpose, and that should be sufficient for your company. The only time that you would really make sure you specify the purpose is if you want to create a company to hold real estate, or if you want to make sure that the company's purpose is restricted to only one or a few activities. This is generally not the case for the average company. Next, you'll need to choose the resident agent of the company. And the resident agent is the individual or organization that's selected to receive any formal documentation on behalf of the company. They also receive service of process. If you're forming the company in a state other than where the business is located, you'll need to make sure you choose an individual or an organization that's located in that state to serve as the resident agent, because they have to have a registered address in that particular state. So if, for example, the business is located in Michigan, but the company is formed in Delaware, you would need to get a resident agent with a registered address in Delaware. Then you'll need to determine the total number of authorized stock for the company. The authorized stock is the amount of stock that the company has determined is available for issuance to shareholders. Typically, startup companies that will eventually become venture-backed choose between 10 million and 15 million shares of stock. Just keep in mind that the filing fees may be higher if you select a higher amount of authorized stock. So understand for the jurisdiction in which you're filing the articles or certificate, the fees that are associated with the authorized stock selected. Finally, you'll need to determine who the incorporator of the corporation will be, and that goes on the articles or certificate of incorporation. The incorporator is the person who files the articles of incorporation or certificate, and after they file it and fulfill a couple of other duties, their role is finished.